In every medium, we have a product that will on average be rated for its quality. Some use a 5 out of 5 system, some a 10 out of 10 system, letter-based grading, or a custom ranking system like many in the anime community tend to use. And at the core, I think rankings are a great thing to help wrap up a review or to quickly give you an idea on the quality of the product. But the issue with rankings are unless you understand the individual's taste and what a 7 out of 10 means to them, it's impossible to look at an average rating and know what the hell it means. Many people don't take sites like MyAnimeList to heart when it comes to their reviews, and for good reason. Almost every new anime that gets released, you'll see close to a 7 out of 10 on average. And often I've wondered, why is this? Because if you look at a 10-point ranking system, a 7 out of 10 is damn high. That's well above average, in fact 2 points above it. But see, that's the issue. So many people would disagree on what number should be used for an average anime, and so many places like MyAnimeList use a 7 out of 10 for the mediocre series. Whereas many like myself consider 7 out of 10 to be pretty damn high, and shouldn't be used for those okay series. Let me break down exactly what I mean. If we are using a 10 number system, 0 being the absolute lowest and 10 being the highest, we all agree 0 is the worst and 10 is the best. Some might use a 0.5 difference or maybe a 0.1, but the point stands that we all agree what is the worst and best number in this system. But once we start looking at the different numbers within this system, everyone seems to have a different idea on which each number means. I do love that the human mind is so unique and diverse that everyone should be thinking for themselves and having their own opinion, but I do think there are some fundamentals within a ranking system like the 0 to 10 numerical ranking that should be followed on average. I would say a 5 out of 10 is average. There are equally many flaws as there are positives. The middle number in a system should be used to define the average because that's what average means. The mean, which is calculated by dividing the sum of the values in the set by their number. So in a 10-point ranking system with 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, then the average comes out to be 5. Granted, if we're making 1 the absolute lowest number that we can award something and 10 the highest, then the average is actually 5.5. But you get my point. So why is it that so many view a 6, 7, or maybe even a lower number like 4 as the average when rating an anime? I don't think there is a clear answer, or the answer lies with the simple fact that everyone just has a different opinion, or enough people started throwing the 7 out of 10 as the average and people just followed in their footsteps. But I do wish if there is one thing that this community, and this really goes for every community that rates any sort of product, if we could agree on that the middle number in a ranking system is the average. As everyone won't always agree on the difference in numerical rankings, a 7 out of 10 for me is a really good show with noticeable flaws, but they don't take away too much from it, whereas others may think a 7 out of 10 is an amazing show. But when I go to places such as MyAnimeList and I see the average as a 6.8 or a 7.4, I have absolutely no idea what that means. Unless I go through many reviews looking at each person's average scoring, I don't know what the hell that number means for them. For my reviews, I have two ranking systems. The first is what I call my seal-based ranking system, which is where I award each series that I review a seal to the show to show how strongly I feel about it. My seal of disapproval is for anime that are too bad to recommend and fall flat on their face. Questionable approval are for those decent anime with many flaws and pros to them. Seal of approval is self-explanatory, I recommend it, and there isn't enough flaws to stick out to make it remotely bad. And then my ultimate seal of approval is for the best of the best amazing series. Even not watching prior reviews, everyone can understand the basics of this recommendation because the names themselves explain what they are. My favorite reviewer, Holden Reviews, has a stamp system which is basically the same as my seal system, and when I first started getting into reviewing, I knew this was the best way to go about it because focusing on which of the 4 seals I award an anime is far easier and more important than what number I gave to them, as no one will know what a 5 out of 10 means to me unless they watch everything I put out. Now, I do give a letter-based ranking for the individual categories that I review, which I do explain in every review what they represent in a numerical form, and those are there for a bit extra detail for those who want it, and honestly, you wouldn't understand fully what they mean unless you have watched me for a long enough time. But the seal helps put a clearer idea on what a B- is to me, as if you also see a seal of approval next to it, you pretty much understand what I mean by it. I don't want everyone to rate anime the same way or think there is a right way to explain what a 7 out of 10 is, but I do think that we all need to agree on, or at least the majority, that a 5 out of 10 or a 2.5 out of 5, anything straight down the middle, is what we should call the average ranking. Because when I see a 5 out of 10 on something I love, for the most part I would think, okay, they just thought it was average, that's fair enough. It did have some issues, but they didn't really bother me too much. But on MyAnimeList, that might be the worst thing ever to them because 7 or 8 is average more times than not. All I'm trying to get at here is ratings suck, but they're also great at the same time. Having to watch dozens of videos to understand someone's thought process, to understand what a C+ or a 6 out of 10 means to them, going through someone's My Anime list to try to figure out what an 8 out of 10 is to them, and how it relates to other anime that they have seen, is a long, excruciating task. If I was confident in that the vast majority agreeing that the average number in a ranking system is in fact the average rating, an 8 out of 10 would have a more impactful meaning than it currently does. As it stands, that might be above average to some or amazing to others. But if I knew that everyone thought a 5 out of 10 was average, and that 3,000 people rated it an 8 out of 10 on average, then I'd think, okay, this must be a really amazing show. I love that we all have different opinions, no one is the right one, but if we could all just follow our basic mathematics and remember what an average truly is, then I think every community as a whole would truly benefit. But then again, it's just my opinion and I'm never the end-all be-all voice. I love hearing everyone's thoughts and what you think on this topic. Do you agree with me that we should enforce the idea that the middle ranking should be the average so everyone have a better understanding what a ranking truly means, without having to know every single thing about each person? Or do you have another reason why a 5 out of 10 or a 2.5 out of 5 shouldn't be the average rating? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this topic down in the comment section below. And before you leave, please be sure to like the video to show your support and subscribe to the channel if you want to see content like this and so much more. You can also follow my Twitter for random thoughts and rants. As well, you can check out my Patreon, and if you want to donate any amount of money to help support videos like this and so much more, while receiving inside knowledge on upcoming anime projects, or even early access on select videos like this one, then please head on over and see if anything sounds appealing to you. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.